All right, so welcome to the first episode of the Tajma Podcast.
Do we have like an intro?
What? No. This is. I mean, if we have an intro, it'll be like, I don't know, something I put on the front end. That'll be the.
I got something.
Oh, okay.
Today is gonna be the day we record a podcast for you.
Wow.
I changed my mind.
Okay. So the current working title that most likely will become official, because I don't see us coming up with anything better, is going to be Tim and Jan Made a Podcast, shorthanded to Tajma Podcast. So.
Yeah, we have the tendency to kind of peak immediately and then have it all go downhill from whatever we're doing.
Oh yeah, like the first or second try is going to be the best possible thing. Anything that comes after that is going to be a joke. Not that this isn't already a joke, but so yeah, this was my thing. I figured I wanted to do. This is totally different from the old Dude Wrong Door Official Podcast thing, where we are more going for like news and current events stuff. It was a lot stricter. You know, we was getting through stories. We weren't really, we weren't doing this. This is kind of us just like chilling out.
Maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Yeah, which is good for you since you're exhausted.
Oh yeah, it's been a stressful week.
You wanna give us the latest on why you would be so tired?
Well, the latest is I have a tendency of finding animals and then taking them under my wing.
Yeah. In
And,
fact,
right
Jan's
now,
literally growing wings because he is becoming that much closer to nature.
They're not pretty. It's not like an angel wing. It's more like chicken wings under my arms.
Yeah, it's chicken wings, but they're also slightly membranous. It's a little similar to a bat since it's a mammal wing.
It's disgusting. There are no feathers.
Yeah.
It looks mostly like I have miniature deformed arms under my arms and they just are stuck to me because there's a bunch of excess skin.
Oh no! It was like someone like hot glued them on there, only the hot glue was skin. It was extra flesh.
Oh. Back to the story because I don't want to visualize this anymore.
Well, the fact is, those wings, they're great for putting animals under, so Jan does it on a regular basis.
And I can sneak beer into movies. But I found a like miniature poodle that was all dirty and stuff in the parking lot outside of my apartment, which statistically speaking, I should not be finding this many animals in that small area.
I think you're like a stand user from JoJo. You only your stand is an animal and it draws you to other animals. Or maybe it's deep down you're kind of a lost animal, so you find them.
Tim, this is episode 1. Please don't get this philosophical.
Oh man,
yet.
How is it not going to start off philosophical? Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, I found this like miniature poodle just wandering around covered in dirt. It was all like skin and bones. Took it in, been taking care of it for the past day. Put up a bunch of flyers to see if anyone lost a dog.
This is like a scene out of a movie.
Yeah, I'm hoping this dog will find its way home or something. Maybe befriend like a bobcat or something on the way. I don't know.
Yeah, you're hoping you came in at about 40 minutes into the movie and not at the 10-minute mark. Because if you came in at the 40-minute mark, there's hope that the original owner was already on screen and is gonna get reunited. But if you're getting kind of a 10-minute feel, I think you're stuck with it.
I'm not keeping this dog. Okay. We have too many animals. It's already like a little zoo in here.
Yeah.
I have no intention of keeping the dog, and feel free to throw that in my face in 2 weeks when we still have it.
Hey, how about this? How about if you're in... Let's not dox you. Never mind. I was going to say, hey, no. If you know where this dog is, take it to Jan's address. Here it is. Feel free to mail a bomb if you don't want the dog.
Or an Obama.
Oh, if we put this out there and as a result of your doxing, you just got to meet Obama. Hey, pretty solid outcome. Unless he shows up and he's like, it's like, oh my God, Obama, what are you doing here? And it's like, wait a second. Why is Obama showing up at my front door? Am I in trouble? Is he in trouble? If he's in trouble, I'm in way more trouble than I was if it was just me in trouble.
He shows up. Why did you take my dog? I'm about to go all John Wick on your ass.
I like your impression of Obama is just speak clearer and use your same voice.
It's pretty much my critical impersonation.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I'm Obama.
Oh man, I'm almost kind of disappointed when we found out what critical looked like, and it wasn't Obama. If I'm being honest, because boy, what of a reveal that would have been. It was almost like after Obama's presidency, suddenly critical became a lot more active, started posting more. It would have lined up real nice. But anyway,
I was just kind of disappointed afterwards when we saw what Donkey looked like.
Oh yeah.
Critical set a pretty high bar.
Yeah, well, yeah, we saw Critical before we saw Donkey. What I was used to was the Review Tech USAs, which we can make fun of all these people because they're so much more successful than us. It's okay to punch upward, but
they'll never find out about this.
Yeah, probably not. Then again, like Review Tech USA does have a reputation for getting a little angry about people's criticisms of him. But anyway, when I saw what Review Tech USA looked like, and it was like, okay. And it was especially disappointing and confusing because his little like intro thing is like a picture of his friend long before he did like the face reveal.
Oh.
It was a picture of his friend, and it was like it looks nothing like him. So like the shock
was doing that Tinder thing to everyone.
Oh yeah, and it was like, oh, that's not him. My brain rejects this because like I started associating his voice so completely with that one picture of his friend. So like to see the face swap become reality, it's like I reject it. Oh. I think that was shortly after I stopped watching his content. Not because I think it got worse, but just because I couldn't go back. He was
too ugly.
It was just like I felt like I had been burned. He was like, oh my God, I just got catfished by a YouTuber that I was just watching who never had any interaction with me whatsoever. But yeah.
While McDouchebag did not disappoint me.
Oh no.
He looked pretty much what I imagined he looked like.
His tribal tattoos. Well, I mean, that's not surprising, but
yeah, he does sound like kind of a douchebag. Oh.
Which yeah, now he's actually going by his real name, which is Lyle Rath, and it's like, wow.
How is that not already his thing?
Why did you ever fake a name? I think it was because, well, it was around the time that no one really wanted to use their real name on the internet. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I understand that, but that was definitely around that time where it was like there was no such thing as internet celebrity. Like at best, you could maybe get your videos monetized and you could make money while being an internet person. But yeah, there were no internet personalities, which he's definitely become, considering all the stuff he's just like featured in now. But yeah, Lyle Rath. What a cool name to just happen to have after going through two other nicknames. He was Guitar Master X7 at first, which is like, oof, definitely of the time.
Ooh, early 2000s YouTube.
Yeah, kind of like his tribal tattoos. I think he looks back on that one and it's just like,
oh yeah, I think he like did a whole thing about how he hates his tattoos.
Yeah, he hates the tribal tattoos. He brought it up in one of their Soul Calibur things where like his friend had made him and like it had to be revealed. Like I think he was like hidden inside of an egg that just had like arms and legs, but then like the egg can be broken during the fight and it's revealed to be Lyle. And he's like, oh my God, you got my stupid tribal tattoos and everything. But yeah. What were we on about? What got us here?
Obama?
Oh yeah, Obama. Thanks, Obama. Got us off track.
Typical.
So anyway, I guess going into the stuff I had typed up here. Not that this is gonna have like a structure, just so y'all know. Getting this out of the way early. Barely gonna have a structure, and as far as like upload frequency, you'll be lucky if it's monthly. I mean, you're about to have a lot more free time. I would suspect.
I'm looking forward to that so much.
Yeah. I'm probably going to have the same amount of free time I always have. But yeah. I'm not going to commit to a schedule or tell people, hey, expect this at this time at this frequency. Nah, like I don't even expect this to be popular or anything. This is just kind of something for us to do that isn't playing gameplay or whatever.
Yeah, my mom said that playing so many video games would rot my brain, so we're trying to cut back on that.
Cut back on the brain rot? Is that something? I don't know. I think if you get a little bit of brain rot, if you get a little bit in there, it's kind of like, man, let's just ride all the way to hell now. Let's just take it all down.
It's like a bad acid trip. Well, you're going down this road. Might as well hang on.
Might as well try to remember this super metal energy later on. It could come in handy. But yeah, so I was talking about like, this didn't really have a set theme or anything, but considering that the channel is mostly video games, well, we'll talk about some video game stuff, and I had a couple ideas of what we could do, some little things we could do. And I heard about this thing that I think the Marine Corps does, or it might be the Navy SEALs, but it's called like a forced ranking system. And it's like every time like the commanding officer does like an evaluation of his men in his squad or team or whatever. I don't know what it's called. I super know nothing about the military. This is just something I heard. And I was like, ooh, hey, that's kind of interesting.
Oh, I thought you played every Call of Duty game.
I did. I think I know less as a result. But yeah, I have been given incredibly incorrect and inaccurate information from those. So
I know that the SCAR is very versatile. I don't know if that applies in real life.
What's funny is that's what one of my my internet screen names or whatever came from, was the SCAR from Modern Warfare 2, because it's very versatile. So I just used it on every single loadout. This is when I was completely. I think it's funny that it's like I used like what was probably like the second best weapon in the game because I was being defiant and not using the ACR, which was the best weapon in the game. It was like, no, I'm one of the cool kids. I use the SCAR, not the ACR.
I also use the SCAR.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's so good. It's a good feeling gun. But yeah, that was the first half of the scarred steel. And the steel part was, I got that from way back in the day playing Medal of Honor and Halo 1, where I had a reputation for just being able to survive every single gunfight. So me and my friends, we were big fans of Shaquille O'Neal. And this actually came out in the Shazam review I did on Tabitha's channel, where I was like, I really like the movie Kazam, even though it's awful, like unbearably bad. He also did a movie that was like the adaptation of Steel, who's like a Superman character. It's also awful, but I didn't care because Shaquille O'Neal was on screen, so like I loved it, and I was like, and me and my friends loved it too. So like I got the Steel part because I was bulletproof or whatever, then the SCAR part, and I just mixed them together.
Surviving every gunfight is the same as winning every gunfight.
Not necessarily, because we always played, it was never one-on-one. It was always 4 people in one match. So I did a lot of popping in, shooting a couple people, and running away. Like, I was way more afraid of dying than I was of losing the match. Or, I mean, of
Call it
yeah?
guerrilla tactics.
Yes, but, like, often I wasn't scoring in the process. So, like, I'd be like, oh my god, my health is getting low. Or anytime my like shield was low in Halo, if I had the opportunity to just yeet out the gunfight and not finish it at all and let someone else finish them off, that's what I did. Like I was all about like, grenade pot shots and like staying as far away from the fight as possible. That changed later on. Like gruesome.
I guess Scarred Coward didn't roll off the tongue as well.
Yeah. It changed later, once my balls dropped and I got a little more courage in the system. Now I'm definitely the opposite. Like you look at me in Titanfall 2 at the end of every match, by far the most deaths. I don't think my kill skill has improved, but at least I don't run away anymore.
We always need fodder.
Yes, I am the fodder, and I fight the enemy team's fodder, which is usually the grunts and the bots, because that's the only thing I'm good at fighting in that game. But hey, so Titanfall. Before we get to the big thing, which will probably take up the rest of the podcast discussion, but I just had a thought. It's like, so supposedly Respawn they're working on a new Titanfall game, and they said that it's supposed to come out in 2019, but they said it wasn't Titanfall 3. So this isn't speculation about that game. This would be speculation about, like, say they actually do eventually get around to making Titanfall 3. Even though Apex Legends is where I'm pretty sure, like, all of that team is right now.
Oh yeah.
If they announce Titanfall 3 and it looks like, say it's got like an announcement trailer that looks super good, and it's just like it looks like Titanfall 2 2.0, like I'm saying, like, it doesn't like take anything out. It just looks like a direct, upgrade and sequel or whatever. Is there anything that could happen before that game comes out that can make you not buy it?
No, for starters, but now you've got my brain going as to what the trailer would look like. And I just imagined it ending with, like, BT's destroyed husk. The light turns on and he starts saying, "Rule 3, protect the pilot."
Dude, oh my god. If, like, the reveal of the 3, like, if it was like, oh, dude, okay, shut up, hold on, stop the presses. Forget my original question. Now we're just going to gush over what it would look like if Titanfall 3 got revealed. Yeah. So the trailer starts, like, you remember how, like, the original Cyberpunk 2077 trailer looked like? It was like that computer
everything
terminal.
Was frozen and they, like, move the camera through it.
No, the original Cyberpunk 2077 one?
I think that was the first one. It was, like, frozen in time. There were a bunch of people shooting at a cyborg.
Oh, yeah, that was the old one. That was, like, before they had started development on the game.
If you're going to use the word original,
sorry,
I expected to stick by it.
No, yeah, that's fair. I had totally forgotten about that. I'm talking about, like, the initial reveal trailer at the Xbox E3, where it looked like someone had, like, hacked all of the monitors at E3, and it just looked like a computer terminal. So you do something like that, right? This is for Titanfall 3. And it just starts listing the directives or whatever, and it's like, number 1, number 2, and then number 3, and then it'll say, like, protect the pilot, and that 3 becomes, like, the Titanfall 3 thing. God, I'm freaking out right now. I'm like, I think my heart rate is actually increasing.
Oh, that was good. That was a good idea.
Which probably means it's not going to happen now.
Yeah, now I'm upset it isn't already a thing.
Yeah. But, yeah, I was thinking, because I was just thinking about, like, all of my initial hype for Mortal Kombat 11. Like, just knowing that it existed, and, like, the initial trailer was amazing, and now I just have no interest in getting it. But it was like, man, how did I get to that point? Like, it's not like Mortal Kombat was always my favorite series, like, not even my favorite in its own genre. But I do really like the games, and 11 was looking really good. Like, the graphics still look incredible, which there's, like, no excuse to not have an amazing looking fighting game just because of, there's not exactly much going on. You got a little 2D plane, people slapping each other.
It's the current year. Come on.
Come on, guys. No KOF 14s. That's a joke for everyone who isn't Jan.
Hi.
But yeah, just with Mortal Kombat 11, it was kind of a gradual wearing me down, where it was like, all right. But then other stuff was good. It was like, we're taking dashing out. And I was like, oh, why? Okay, well, the fatal blows are cool. That looks cool. And they were like, your meter will just recharge over time. It's not based on how you play. And I was like, okay, maybe not. I'm still excited. It still looks good. And then everything to do with, like, the loot boxes hit. And it's like, it's the breaking point. I can't be bothered now. But I was just thinking, like, what could possibly make me turn away from Titanfall 3?
Different development team with a bad history. Confirmed loot boxes.
Okay, hang on. That first one's really interesting, because considering how much of Respawn is focused on Apex now, because that's the big moneymaker, and then, like, this new division, which are different guys, they were kind of hired to do Jedi Fallen Order, so they're not really the same development. It's Respawn only in name. But you can't have... I mean, Apex Legends, that's a live service. That's a thing you're going to have to keep maintaining the whole time. And considering what happened to Fortnite, or rather what happened to Paragon after Fortnite was hugely successful. Like, Epic Games had to pull all of that staff off of Paragon to work on Fortnite. And that's kind of why Titanfall 3 isn't happening right now, is because of limited resources. You know, you can't make everything. So
unfortunately,
I'm thinking, hey, well, Apex Legends is the big moneymaker. We're going to have most of our guys on there. But, you know, our niche market, you know, the ones that we initially got on board, you know, initially made a name with.
The true fans.
Yes, the true fans. Maybe they need, you know, a little sequel. We'll throw them a little sequel. And you know what would make it worse is if it still says Respawn Entertainment and they don't say anything about it not being the A team. And like it's got good full CG trailers, and then maybe when they show gameplay, it's a little faked, kind of like what happened with Anthem. And this is EA. See, with Titanfall 2, Respawn still wholly owned the IP. EA was just publishing. Now EA completely owns them and the IP. So I'm just comparing it to Anthem, where it's like, yeah, which BioWare is making this game? Like, a bunch of people left. There's a lot of this is not the same people. You got a couple different studios working on it, you know, bringing in some grunt work from other studios. I could see that happening, but I don't think I would, like, that's not something you necessarily notice unless, you know, there's a big expose done like what Kotaku did with Anthem, where it's like, oh, yeah, that explains a lot after the fact. That could happen, though.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not having fun anymore.
I could see Titanfall 3 having like amazing marketing and like getting especially if it's a B team, it'll become a scenario where, well, let's just give the players exactly what they're asking for, which is not something Respawn has ever done. Respawn kind of is like, we want to do the thing we want to do, and if y'all don't like it, then all right. Which was kind of why I didn't love Titanfall 2 at first, because I really liked Titanfall 1. A lot of the changes they made, wasn't a fan of.
Yeah,
they kind of changed a lot of those back, and now it's fantastic, and I love it, and it's a perfect game. But I could see if it's a B team, suddenly we're getting everything we're asking for. So it's like all of the change that we wanted. They're on paper. They're saying, "Yep, that's in. We're doing this. We're doing this now." And it's like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be the perfect game." And then the game launches, and it's like, something didn't feel quite right. This game not running as well as I remember Titanfall 2 running. And then also the fact that Respawn kind of already committed to Apex Legends being the last game they make on the Source engine. So it would be a B team working with a new engine that they're likely inexperienced with. Oh man, this is a nightmare scenario I've created.
We started off so good. Why do you always do this?
I don't know. I think it's fun. It's morbid speculation, I guess.
You are mentally sick. What
just
else you got on that list?
I don't know. Nothing like this. Nothing like that. The rest of it's, you know, it's more fun stuff.
But, all right, let's do something fun now. It was fun.
But that would make me retroactively be disappointed in Titanfall 3. What could make me not buy it? Probably just, you know, CD monetization, where it's like you start noticing that there's like, they've monetized the campaign somehow. And it's like,
oh,
what?
No.
How and why did you do that? They're like, oh, yes.
They make it like Hitman, where it's episodic.
Oh, no. Yeah, and Hitman had to do that because of a cut in budget. So they couldn't do the full game all at once. Oh no, this is getting worse. So, okay, Titanfall 3, new campaign. They say, don't worry, everybody. Jack Cooper and BT are back. The story is still about them. However, the more gameplay you see, it's like, oh, it's co-op focused. Oh, there's a loot system. There's tower defense missions.
It costs how much to unlock BT?
Yeah, and it's like, oh no, you can spend money to speed up the build process. You mean, oh no, that same money can be spent on a faster core charge? They're like, don't worry, it's only in the single player. Frontier defense, they'll only be there. Player versus environment.
It's
don't worry,
just
guys.
An extra mechanic. It's not necessary.
It's just an option. It doesn't affect the competitive aspect. And then, all of the camos are monetized because they were in Titanfall 2. And they'd be like, why is everyone making a big deal? It was like this in the second game. Y'all all love that one so much. And it's like, yes, but you've monetized everything else now. You can at least give us something back. So yeah, that could make me not buy Titanfall 3. Although, ooh, man, it would still be hard. I think if the monetization stuff was the case, but it was the original team, I'd absolutely wait a couple months for all of the backlash to hit and the rebalancing to happen, kind of like what happens with all of these games. And then I'd buy it
kind of like how games are nowadays.
Yeah, buy it at $40 once it's been unraped. It's like, oh, okay, hey, it's great now, and it was cheaper. Everything's swell. But then you go back to that community, and it's like, hey guys, how's the Titanfall community doing? And it's like, everyone hated that game at launch. It's dead. The hype is dead. No one wants to play it now. We all hate Respawn. The reputation is going to be dead forever. If Titanfall 4 happens, it'll be a joke.
Maybe they'll just release a mobile game.
They already did that. It was actually fine. It was like an RTS type deal. What was it called?
I downloaded it, but I never finished the tutorial because I was like,
I was like, oh my god, this is a phone game. What am I doing?
Pretty much.
But yeah, I guess we exhausted that one. We can move on to something else now. Let's see. Oh, what I was talking about earlier, that whole military thing with the forced ranking. So the way it works is that you do an evaluation of your guys, and they're like, give them all a rating from 1 to 5 or 1 to 4. It's like how many people are in the squad. You give them a rating from 1 to however many there are. And they're like, you can't give them all 5s. You have to give 1 a 5, 1 a 4, 1 a 3, 1 a 2, and 1 just 1. And it's like,
oh yeah, I had that in high school.
Wait, really?
Yeah, we would do like a presentation stuff, and we'd have a grading system like that. To where, you only have so many points to give, so you're going to have to make sure you're telling them what they're not doing well.
Was it like peer review?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense to me, yeah. I was thinking, oh my god, your teachers were doing that? Like, only one kid can get an A. It's like, oh Jesus.
I mean, like, it was a tough school, but it wasn't that bad.
But yeah. Anyway, I was thinking about that system. And I was like, okay, well, that's pretty interesting. How could I apply that somewhere? And then I was like, hey, I know where I could apply that. I could apply it to the games I've been playing, for the past month or whatever. And I could do that each episode. And I think I've been playing, I believe I've been playing 4 games. Hold on. Let me go to the thing. Yeah, I've been playing 4 games. Okay. 4 games I've been playing are Dead Cells, Need for Speed Payback, Dangerous Driving, and Deus Ex Mankind Divided. And so it's like score from 1 to 4. 1, I would get a Need for Speed Payback because that game sucks. It's terrible. I was only playing it because I wanted to figure out what my opinions were on it. And I might make a video about that later. But yeah, that game, God, what a trash fire. And that's EA once again forcing new engines on inexperienced developers. That's what I was worried about earlier. So I was talking about earlier. Very poorly optimized game. Just a lot of good elements that are killed by the fact that it's just not fun to play. Like the actual moment to moment, just trash. Which is a shame because on paper the game seems really good. Save for the whole like loot-based car upgrade system, which is like the stuff I was talking about earlier. What makes it so scary is that it's super not that hypothetical. Like they could come up with all that stuff to do to Titanfall 3.
Oh no.
But yeah, definitely don't recommend Need for Speed Payback. I know that's old news. All of these games I'm playing, save for Dead Cells, or no, save for Dangerous Driving. All older stuff. That's, the hype has passed on, which, I mean, it's a good thing this podcast isn't about that. But for two I would give to Dangerous Driving. And it's not because the game is bad. I think it's really good. It has a lot of potential. It was made by the original director of the Burnout series, which if you watched the video I did with my friend Daniel, where we played Burnout Paradise, I kind of like that series. It's very near and dear to my heart. But EA decided, hey, we won't make these anymore for no reason whatsoever. And we'll take a lot of the technical people. We're going to take them out of Criterion Games, which is the original developer. We're going to put them on Ghost Games, and they're going to make Need for Speed games now. And then Alex Ward, who is like the director, like the main guy, been there since Burnout 1 on the GameCube. He left, started his own development studio called Three Fields Entertainment. They made a couple games that didn't quite gel with anyone in particular. They were experimenting, trying some new stuff. There's only him and I think 6 other people. Then they came out with Dangerous Driving, and suddenly they're on the map. And the reason they're on the map is because this game feels like Burnout. It looks and acts like Burnout. It doesn't quite sound as good as Burnout, and that's because there's 6 people working on it other than him. But man, I'm actually blown away that this is just, it's made on Unreal Engine, so it's, an easy, cheap to license engine that a lot of people know how to use. Tiny, small little team. And it runs as good as it does, like 60 FPS lock. The game feel is just amazing, and there's plenty of content there. But God, this game has a lot of technical issues. Like, so in racing games, especially arcade ones, if Jan doesn't play racing games, we'll just clarify.
Yeah, that.
I was actually thinking about asking that. They just don't appeal to you that much?
I mean, like, I have enough fun if I'm playing with someone, but when it's just kind of racing and it's just me,
yeah,
I don't know, I kind of lose interest in it.
That's interesting. I mean, that seems to be the case for a lot of people. What I've noticed is that the people that play racing games, there's a lot of overlap with the people that play sports games. And
racing's a sport. Just ask NASCAR.
just ask NASCAR. It's like, hey, NASCAR, John NASCAR, is racing a sport? I don't know where I'm going with this joke. That was the joke. It's John NASCAR. But yeah.
I'm going to guess what your number 2 and number 1 were.
You mean my number 3 and my number 4?
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm rating them from 1 to 4. Right.
So 3, I'm guessing, is Deus Ex, and 4 is Dead Cells.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
So 3 is Dead Cells, and Dead Cells is the epiphany moment for me on roguelikes, where I didn't get roguelikes, much like Jan currently doesn't get racing games. Maybe someday he'll be enlightened, but I didn't get roguelikes. Yeah, that's what I said about roguelikes. And I think the reason I didn't get roguelikes is because I didn't understand the point of a roguelike. I was like, why would I play it if I'm going to lose my progress, which isn't really what happens. That was something I thought because I didn't play on that much. But like, it made it to where I was like, I'm afraid to move forward because I don't want to like lose what I understood as like my save file, essentially, which I think someone did make a game like that one time, or like there was no, like, even if you had a save file, if you died, it made it to where you couldn't access that save file anymore. You actually had to like start a new game.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that, but I imagine it didn't
do very well, I'm pretty sure.
What a surprise.
I may be confusing that with a game that someone tried where if you lose, it locks your Steam account out from ever playing it again.
Oh, jeez.
So it's like the ultimate roguelike. You have to start a new life.
Life is the ultimate roguelike. Well, if we get reincarnated, I don't know.
Well, that's a lot of roguelike games have reincarnation themes. Like, I'm pretty sure Rogue Legacy does. Dead Cells kind of does. It's where it's kind of like the same consciousness, just put into a new zombie body. But anyway, Dead Cells is my epiphany moment because I realized, I am getting better on each playthrough. So even though I'm starting from the same spot, even though like the dungeons are remixed in order to keep it more interesting, even though I'm starting from the same spot, I'm getting better each time. Which reminded me of like old NES games where even though the levels were the same, I had to start from the beginning each time I turned the console on, and that made me really good at those levels, so getting through them was a breeze. Then I get to the part that I'm having trouble with. And then
you've grown as a person.
I've grown as a gamer, Jan. Don't call me a person. I have multiple lives. Anyway, that kind of clicked with me, and then I realized, oh god, now I get Battle Royale games too.
Oh, I do enjoy those. Battle
Royales are just multiplayer roguelikes. It's like you get one life. Then at the start, the only thing that's remixed is the people, but like that's what counts in the multiplayer. So, yeah. It's been a month of learning. Dead Cells, the game feel is fantastic. Like as far as like 2D action, that's like if Castlevania games continued on the same path without trying to do 3D, without like doing more RPG like elements, if they just stayed 2D Castlevania games and they kept refining the mechanics and stuff, it would become Dead Cells. So if you liked the old Castlevania games, I can't recommend that game enough. The art style is beautiful. I'm playing on the Switch, and it seems to run extremely well, has very short load times. So I can only assume on any other platform it's going to run even better than that. So I don't think there's any bad version of this game, is what I'm saying. But yeah, like there's so many weapons. There's awesome parry mechanics which feel Japanese good. Like the parry feels as good as Metal Gear Rising. Yeah. There's also like you can do parries, you can do dodges, you can do like ranged focused, melee focus, like you can lay like traps. You can basically just be whatever kind of character you want, and you build him up and specialize him the more you play it. So like you'll find these little scrolls in the dungeons, and you can pick which part of you to upgrade, like your survivability, your defense, or your brutality. And I always go for brutality because I'm a real OG. It's like, what? I'm not gonna get hit. Excuse me. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be hitting them. They ain't never gonna hit me. I don't have to worry about survivability. As a result,
I'm still scarred steel.
Yeah, still a coward. In the end, still a coward. But yeah. Game's awesome. I'm nowhere near finishing it. I think I've made it past the first big boss, who's named the Concierge, and I'm like,
classy.
Yeah, it was weirdly classy. The character in this game is very much a Han Solo type situation where he don't give no shit about no one, and is like, it's all about me. Like all your interactions.
Bad boy.
What?
The bad boy.
Yeah, he's the bad boy.
I wonder if he'll turn around at the end.
Ooh, interesting. I wonder if he'll start caring for these people he's fighting for, and not just, getting out of here and saving myself. Maybe he'll come back in the Millennium Falcon to save Luke's life. I don't know.
I'd be surprised if that happened in Dead Cells, but continue.
You never know. And the game is satisfyingly difficult. And the way like the cells work, which you get from like killing enemies, it's just like the souls from Dark Souls. Those actually do give you the actual progression where it's like unlock, you can use the health potion twice, or unlock a random shield at the beginning from your pool of shields that you have found. And the way you unlock one is finding it, or going to like the shop in between missions and buying it. And then it's like, this will be added to the pool, so it can show up later. So it's still randomized, but you've like, you got a stronger card in your deck. So like you could pull that card. So basically Dead Cells is Yu-Gi-Oh! The video game, is what I'm trying to say.
Me up.
Yeah, I was going to say, that'll get Jan on the side playing Dead Cells. I don't know how much the game is. I bought it physical for $35, and I was like, feels a little steep for an indie roguelike. But man, is it worth it. That game is absolutely worth $35. I'm nowhere near finished, and I've gotten so much enjoyment.
That's the top of my list of things to play.
Yeah. Also, I would recommend, what were we talking about? You liked like the you like turn-based strategy? Like yeah. What we were talking about, Into the Breach. Yeah. I've heard that Into the Breach is like the new hotness in turn-based strategy. So, you should try that one out. That's not my genre. Yeah. Maybe I'll have an epiphany. Maybe I should get Into the Breach and I'll see. Oh, I get it now.
I'm actually planning on trying one of those card RPG games that have become kind of popular, like Slay the Spire. We should call them
card PGs.
Oh.
Which we shouldn't. I think CarPG was what they were calling. One of the Need for Speed games was called a CarPG. They're like, so many RPG elements. They were calling it a CarPG. Pretty sure the game sucked, so it didn't stick. But
yeah, it doesn't surprise me. But the people that make the SteamWorld games, they made a SteamWorld Heist, which is a game I really enjoyed.
Oh,
They're
okay.
coming out with one called SteamWorld Quest.
Oh, it's a card RPG?
Yeah, and for nothing else, the art is beautiful.
Oh, yeah, SteamWorld. Them boys are on it.
Pretty much all the reviews I've read are like, yeah, this is a really good game. So
I'm noticing
that's up there.
The
I
SteamWorld
think
games
it comes out today.
Really? Oh, get on that. Go check that out.
No, I have a final this weekend.
Oh, right. Good point. Speaking of finals and things you have to do, maybe we should speed this up.
Oh, right.
So
Let's talk about Deus Ex.
Yeah, number 4, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, a game from 2016 that I just now finished. However, I will say from when I started it to finished it, I was way faster than Jan. So I at least beat the people in my Wait, are you unconvinced?
No, I agree completely. I was just gonna ask how long you put into it.
Oh, well, let's see. I started it like the day I came back from our last trip when you let me borrow it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, the trip before that. Never mind. Took me a little longer. It was January.
On Xbox, you can see how many hours you spent playing the game.
Oh, you mean, how many hours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I'll boot that up.
It took me 6 months to beat, I think.
I'll have that turning on in the process.
Yeah, it's been a while since I looked, but I think mine was somewhere between 25 and 30 hours of gameplay.
Okay, I'm not so sure if I took that long because I did kind of have a sense of urgency when I was playing it. Like I'm pretty sure I didn't do all of the side quests. If I was given a side quest, I did it, but I didn't go looking for them. Like I didn't talk to a lot of people.
Here.
Yeah, I didn't talk to a lot of people.
I talked to everyone, but
oh god, no, I didn't do that. I
can't help it. RPGs, I have like an OCD need to just talk to everyone in case I get something or unlock a mission or learn something useful.
See, I used to be like that, but then I realized I wasn't finishing RPGs. So I was just like,
yeah, no, that's part of my problem.
It was like, okay, what do I care more about? The potentiality of getting some item from this guy or me ever finishing the game. So I'm just like, all right, I'll catch up with that dude later. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go actually finish this main quest.
Yo, you're skipping a lot. I don't know if that's on my end or yours.
I'm skipping a lot?
Yeah, like you'll say something and it'll cut out and then you'll say the same thing again, like repeat it.
Ooh, that's weird. I'm not getting that from you.
I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect real quick.
Okay. So I go to achievements, right? Is it in achievements?
Maybe it's on like the games page or something. I don't remember. I'd have to check.
It's on the games page?
I don't know, man.
Okay, here. Link for group, at home, next achievements. Maybe it's in next achievements. I don't think it's in here, Jan. I think that's just something I'll have to check out later. Maybe that'll be on the next episode. We'll compare how long it took us. We'll compare
our sizes of time spent in the game.
Okay, so Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. As far as gameplay, I think this game has a very rough start. A very... Oh, man, a trying first few hours, that's for sure. I don't... like... The opening is cool in Dubai. That mission in Dubai, really cool because you're upgraded Adam Jensen doing a bunch of cool stuff. You got all these abilities. You get to try them all out. That's fun.
You get to be the cyberpunk ninja.
Exactly, the cyberpunk Renaissance ninja, because that art style is heavily inspired by Renaissance art. Which, by the way, one of my favorite art styles in not only any game franchise, but any intellectual property ever is the new Deus Ex art style, the one that started with Human Revolution.
Same.
Original Deus Ex was kind of just like straight cyberpunk, but this one, oh man, I love the extra little bits added to it, like a lot of use of triangles and a lot of unique but definitely very stylish fashion going on in this universe. The cop outfits in particular in Prague, dude, they look like power armor, and it looks so cool.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like I said, lots of triangles worked into little bits that it's not obnoxious. You don't notice it at first, then you notice it and it's like, oh, it's so cool, it's so subtle. But anyway, the first few hours, it feels really restrictive, kind of when you haven't picked a style you're going with, whether you're going to be like a hacker or a ninja. What I eventually landed on was I'm going to be Batman. I'm going to not kill people, and I'm going to try to be stealthy. But if I get into a dicey situation, I want to be able to like do some quick takedowns on people and have enough energy to do that. And that worked out pretty well. That is almost
exactly what I did.
Really? Okay, so we were both Batman.
I mean, when you can be Batman, you be Batman.
Yeah, like I was thinking about my favorite defense of Batman not killing people is Batman is strong enough to not kill people, because if he was killing people, why doesn't he just kill everyone? Because he literally can. Like, it takes more effort to get through an area without killing anyone. But yeah, the first couple hours, really rough. That was when I was having a hard time continuing to play the game, because it's just like, I keep running into these brick walls where it's like, I can't go through this tunnel because there's gas. I can't hop over this area because there's a turret, and I can't hack the turret from over here. There's like no way for me to move forward. And that's very frustrating from a gameplay standpoint. However, what I did notice is that a lot of that was stemming from me having a lack of imagination, and also maybe not quite understanding all of the ways that you could approach like a path or a room or a situation in that game, which is a lot. It's a whole lot of options. I figured out that you can be a strong boy, and that can help you be stealthy, because now you can move big crates out of the way and open new paths to like take you away from engagements. But being I
think it unlocks some different takedowns, like punch through the wall.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. The takedown where you punch through the wall and like grab them, and oh yeah. Oh, good stuff. Anyway, I was thinking, well, if I go down this one path, it's going to railroad me into one style of play. If that was more the case in Human Revolution, it could have also been because I had a lack of imagination. I wasn't smart enough for it yet. But Mankind Divided, doing like the strength stuff and like, being a very physical, like in your face, like badass, doesn't railroad you as much. Like, it doesn't feel that way. And like being the hacker, I don't think you're you're not as weak and defenseless as you would have been in Human Revolution. That's what it felt like to me. Like, at first I was like going for the hacking stuff because I'm like, I want to get into these places because that's cool. I like to get into places where I'm not supposed to be. Makes me feel important, like I'm a secret agent, like I'm solving the case. But yeah, so at first I was doing a lot of that, and I didn't feel weak. But it was like, if I was in a room with 3 dudes and they all knew I was there, I was like, I'm in trouble. I don't think I can get out of this situation without killing people. So
yeah, that's why I put heavily into the invisibility too. Because like if I got spotted, I'd be gone. I'd be a ghost.
I didn't get the glass shield invisibility thing until I think 3/4 of the way through the game. Because I was just I didn't think it would be that useful. Once I got it around the time that the lockdown which, by the way, full spoilers of the game if you haven't finished it.
Right, that too.
I'll just say this before I get to this next part. But when they did like the lockdown curfew thing in Prague, which I love it when games do that. I love when they take like the city hub, and then at a certain point in the game, it becomes extremely dangerous just to be in the hub. Mm-hmm. That stuff's sick. But
I think I remember the first one doing that too. Well, I guess the second one.
Yeah, the first, well, no, actually, Human Revolution is the third game. The first one was Deus Ex, and the second one was Invisible War. I thought Invisible War was an expansion, but apparently it wasn't. It was like a totally different game. So yeah, I was wrong about that. Human Revolution is the third game. Mankind Divided is the fourth game. But you kind of get the feeling that Human Revolution is the kind of the reboot, start of what's coming next. And I think the third game is far enough into the future after the previous ones where it kind of does feel like a new beginning, and you get a new protagonist, which we'll get back to him later. But yeah, I didn't get the glass shield until I got to Prague, and like, ooh, I was like, whoa, galaxy brain maneuvers just got laid out in front of me. Like, I can like take a dude out, go invisible, and be gone. And like, they're like, oh god, where'd he go? And I'm like, I'm behind you, bitch. Like,
I hope you can do that in the 2 seconds before you run out of juice.
Yeah, well, that's when I started hammering on those biocells. I was like, why am I carrying around like 30 biocells? What a waste. I just started like...
And all this scrap metal.
Oh yeah, the crafting parts. I use those for multi-tools because I stopped upgrading hacking. So I was like, I just
that would
use
have been
that.
a good idea.
Yeah, I just started using all of my crafting parts to make multi-tools because I only used Typhoon ammo when I got surrounded and needed to disappear. But then I stopped using the Typhoon ammo because I could just glass shield and disappear. So this game has depth. And I started to figure out like later in the game when I had like really amped up my battery efficiency and capacity, I was like, I can run into rooms, do a multiple takedown on 2 of them, go invisible, run around the corner, take out like 2 more guys, hammer in some biocells, run down here, take those guys out. So it was like, I am like a dominant physical presence. I literally need not fear death. So like the game started going by much quicker because I wasn't checking other rooms. I was just running to the next enemy because I was like, this is where I get all my ammo from unconscious enemies. I must create more. But yeah, the tranquilizer gun, I sped up the reload process because the tranquilizer gun and the stun gun have small clips. So it was like, well, I'm going to prioritize that.
I like max them out.
Yeah. So yeah, what ending did you get?
I think I got I don't know if I got the perfect ending, but I got a pretty good one.
I don't think I got the perfect one either, but because they're like, I wasn't able to talk to the Diwali head, like the gangster guy. I didn't get to have that conversation. I totally missed that.
Was that the one that like wants you to take out his nephew or something? Or no, that was the strip club lady, I think.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I missed a lot of that then. I didn't get any of that.
Oh, that was a pretty cool mission, but
darn.
So with the last boss, were you able to save everyone and take him down non-lethally?
I had to kill the guy. I wasn't strong enough to keep him alive. I died so many times, so it's just like, all right, whatever. Got out the PDA that is his deactivation code and just fried him right there as soon as the fight started.
Yeah, I did that one time, and then I tried something different. It turns out that since he's like almost all machine, if you shoot him with a taser, it completely freezes him.
Really?
Long enough for you to run up to him and like just take him out in one hit.
Oh my god, I should have tried that. I didn't even think about it. Like I'm saying, okay, what I was thinking was like XP walls was just my lack of imagination. So I was thinking this game doesn't feel well designed. I can't figure out these ways. Like I have to level up, just go forward. Like, nah. I keep figuring out that it's like, no, you idiot. You just didn't experiment enough.
You gotta try something new.
And it was, God, such a good game. The director, what was his name? I can't remember what his name was. He worked on Human Revolution. He was the director then. Also, I think Michael McCann is the name of the composer. Fantastic score both of these games have. But there's there's some standout subtle moments in the second one, especially during like the conversations where you're trying to convince people, the Casey system or whatever. The musical cues in those conversations are so sick. But yeah, I was able to save all of the normies, the regular people, and I was able to save all of the business investors or whatever, or like the politicians that were going to keep the act from passing.
Yeah, I was too.
I'm gonna a lot of characters I liked in this game, which I guess we could talk about that later in another podcast, or not. But I could go so in depth on this. A lot of the characters I liked in the game, but the ending. So I put a lot of stock into an ending. Like an ending can take a game from a 5 to an 8 for me. And I think in this case, the ending was taking it from a 7 to like a 9.5. I can't say 10 because the gameplay is pretty clunky in places and it could really use some refinement. Like aiming's kind of stiff. I feel like there's probably no issues on PC. Like this game Definitely feels like the aiming would be helped by a mouse. It ain't no Call of Duty, is what I'm saying. So I can't say it's a 10, but I think it's a 9 after I finished it. Like, the ending was so good, and the way that, like, it doesn't even end on Adam or Alex, who I don't know if like a different person can show up at the end, but Alex Vega, the girl with like the blonde highlights and stuff. One of my favorite character designs in the game, especially like her jacket. Oh, this game's full of sick jackets. Second of all, like everyone has a totally sick jacket in this game. But
yeah, if you want to know what to wear when you're cold, just look at Deus Ex. That's its whole
look at
shtick.
freaking just Adam Jensen's custom jacket. That I love that scene where like you check his email or something. And it's like, it's been dropped off to your specifications, Mr. Jensen, and then he like it shows him putting it on, and it's like, ooh, I want to be that guy. I'm happy I'm that guy. But yeah, the way it ends, how it pans away from their conversation they're having at that window, talking about all that like that cool stuff where it's like we haven't solved everything, and it's like, oh yeah, this is totally the second part of a trilogy, but it just pans over to the news report, and you just see Picus Media straight up lying about everything that just happened. And it's like, I love how that ties into the first game's story, and like the revelation that what's her face, Eliza, is just an AI. Like, it's just an AI that compiles everything. Like, it's going through all the data streams, and it's just turning everything into the most twisted, fake, like it's just there to stir everyone up and make everyone hate each other.
Well, I think parts of it are dependent on your decisions. Like, I think some of the news stories are based on what side missions you do.
Yeah, and like which people are still alive.
I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, which people are still alive at the end. That was, it was so cool. But it was like, yeah, I loved that some of the stuff she couldn't spin quite as well. Like, it was too good of a message, but she had to report it, but she like was having trouble. Like, that felt good. That had some satisfaction. But okay, so when I say this game really speaks to me politically, I'm not saying it agrees with my politics. There are some characters that agree with my politics. I'm not getting political here, don't worry. But the topics, which are mostly talking about, you know, like futuristic stuff, I love the politics of like the augmentations and stuff like that, and like AI and all that stuff. And let me just, like, I know, so you know, self-insert characters, pretty cringy. Let me tell you, here's something way more cringy. The fact that I want the cool, nice guy, capitalist billionaire to be Elon Musk. Like, that guy at the end, it's like, oh my god, it's Elon. I'll frickin' die for you, Elon. Like, I am so on this guy's side. I'm not going to question anything he says. But yeah, all of that cool stuff, and then like the way that it ends, where it's like it comes back to, you know, that was a really cool twist in the first game, I thought, where it's like Eliza isn't real, it's an AI, and the AI is like there to stir up division and everything. And I like how the second game ends on that, like it's just slowly zooming into that broadcast, and then after the last one it clicks off, and then it goes to credits. I was like, I can't wait for the third game that probably isn't going to happen because this one didn't do very well.
And if it does, we're going to wait like 10 years for it.
But what I thought was cool was that it was almost like they knew we're going to wait a long time. And like, I think Adam at some point in that last conversation is like, I guess all we could do now is wait. And it was like, oh.
Same.
Yeah. Then that mid-credits scene, did you stay for that?
I think I did, but could you refresh my memory?
With the Illuminati?
It's been a while since I played it.
Where they're at their little round table.
That was...
And it's revealed that the psychiatrist or whatever, the shrink, is like part of the Illuminati. She's like one of those like high members. But all of the cool teases where it's like, are we sure his memories are what we want him to think? And it's like, what happened that was fake? It's like, I can't wait for what happens next. But I love, so we're at the hour now, but I'm getting to the part that I really wanted to talk about, so I'll try to make it quick. But Adam Jensen, as far as I'm concerned, is the greatest video game protagonist that has come out in the past decade, because he's not a create your own RPG character, but he is a complex enough person where you can take him multiple different routes and have him side with multiple different opinions, and it still makes sense within the defined specific character traits he has. Like,
now, I would agree with you, but I think you're forgetting about Doom Guy.
Well, Doom Guy isn't from this decade.
He's very complex. He can kill demons in so many ways.
That's true. But I think Doom Guy is disqualified because he wasn't new from the past decade. I think the first game was at 2010. It was 2011. Never mind. Yeah, it was 2011 where it came out. So we're still within the same decade. I don't think any other character that was new from this decade comes close to Adam Jensen as far as like complexity, and then as far as like his likability as a character. He has a fantastic design, like aesthetically, he's so memorable. Like the way he looks, it sticks with you, and he looks super cool. And like, oh man, this man's fashion sense.
Oh yeah, he's like a
control.
JoJo character.
Yeah, he's out of control as far as fashion. But like, when you do those Casey conversation things, I say Casey, it's CASIE. It's like, I think social augmentation. It's something, I can't remember what it was, but you can tell like these different ways that he deals with certain personality types. So what's interesting is you could say that's him being sociopathic because he's using a program to figure out what's the best way to respond to this person.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't sound like he's lying in any of the stuff he says, because the goal to win is never to like deceive someone. Like, you're trying to convince them to like go with a non-violent response, or it's like, dude, calm down, don't set off bombs or anything like that. It's like dude, you can't run away, please come with me, we can get this non-violently solved. So he's doing all these, it's always for a good cause. Like, you're never trying to deceive someone into like killing someone else for you, which could totally be the case in like something like Hitman or I mean, you know, Hitman, also Square Enix game, so closest parallel, I guess. But like, I got the best possible ending for all of those conversations because I would restart them if I messed up. But
I did that a few times too. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Yeah, the Talos Rucker conversation, the conversation with the Machine God cult leader, like those two in particular were like, oh my god, Adam Jensen is a genuinely inspiring guy. Like, the voice actor is doing a great job. I can't remember his name, but fantastic job. I've never heard him in anything else, probably because he's been so busy recording all these freaking lines for this one franchise. But that voice, it's like David Hayter is to Solid Snake. It's like, you can't have Adam Jensen and not have this guy reprise the role, because it's so extremely attached to that. And I hope they never try anything like that. It's like, no, this guy is this character now. But like, the stuff
I really
he
hope
says
he looks like him.
I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna check it out because it means too much to me. Like, I'm gonna keep this character intact.
Let's not get a donkey situation going.
It turns out Adam Jensen is just like a chick, and it's like, whoa,
impressive!
Wow, you're really talented. But yeah, if Adam Jensen ended up looking exactly like Adam Jensen, and you find out that it was like the face model and everything, it's gonna be like, I love this man.
God, I hope he has a good fashion sense.
Me too. He's dressing like that IRL. It's like,
if I voiced Adam Jensen, you couldn't stop me from doing that.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah, if I had all of his abilities, I love how people treat him in this game. Like, he seems to have more of a reputation in the second one. Like, he's got more history behind his actions, so I like how there's kind of a Master Chief thing going on when he's in Interpol. They're like, whoa, look at all that hardware, and it's like, oh, you're Adam Jensen or whatever. Like, I love that
That's
stuff.
right, I'm hard. Full.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, such a fantastic protagonist, and it flies in the face of what I feel every other, at least American RPG is going, where it's like, I like Commander Shepard because I like Mass Effect. Commander Shepard isn't a very good character because Commander Shepard is almost too malleable, and I know that's for a gameplay design perspective. So Commander Shepard makes the most sense if you're gonna do, make up your own story, put it on this character. Mm-hmm. All of the side characters of Mass Effect are so good and memorable because they're specific people.
Yeah.
But then you go to something like Fallout or any of the Elder Scrolls games. Those games are not their protagonists, they're their settings. And that's fine. That's something different. But I'm pretty sure that is why those games don't appeal to me. I used to think it was because their gameplay was clunky, but Deus Ex has some pretty clunky gameplay. It's not as clunky as Fallout 3 or maybe even like, some of the older Elder Scrolls games. But it's a clunkiness that I deal with because I'm so invested not just in the universe and the setting and the narrative and stuff and the other characters. I am particularly invested in Adam Jensen, like as a character. Like, I want to see where this is going because he's involved. Like, the geopolitical stuff is cool. It's a good context and a good backdrop, and it appeals to me particularly well because I love that kind of
augmentation
sci-fi
stuff is cool. The cyberpunk.
Yes, exactly. Like, I love that stuff in particular, like the transhumanism bend. But this character in particular, I'm like, I almost would love this guy in any other setting. He's so good. And I think it kind of feels like we've lost that a bit. We've lost that narrative. As far as like Japanese RPGs, they always have like a defined main protagonist going on. But they're less about like choice in conversations in that world. And it's more about, just building your way through the story. Mm-hmm. And the RPG elements are just leveling up the character. This stuff where it's like you're trying to operate within the conversational space as well as, go be a badass cyborg ninja. I think it's amazing that he's such a character while still having all this depth and being able to go in completely like almost opposite directions with stuff, but you still totally buy that it's the same guy.
Yeah, it's like, very well written too. At least most of it.
The script is really good, and I love how well it doesn't feel terribly consistent at times. Like there's some parts where it definitely feels more like an aloof noir, and then other times it feels like a more modern, like just a more like modern political action film. Mm-hmm. So like some of the tones clash a little bit, and sometimes Adam will talk a little different, which you can tell is probably because he's being written by so many different people, but he feels like he's directed the same, and the actor feels like he understands the character, even though the character could go in any direction. But yeah, God, I hope that Eidos Montreal, I hope that what they're working on now, which I'm pretty sure is the Avengers game, I'm hoping that it does well enough for them to not be put out of business, but I'm hoping that it doesn't do so well that that's all they do from now on.
It doesn't become their Apex Legends or Fortnite.
Exactly. Like, and I hate to wish less success on someone, but you know what? I'll just say I hope that those guys, this director, this composer, this voice actor, I hope this studio gets to come back and make their third Deus Ex game, because man, I am in it for the long haul now. Like,
give us the Return of the King.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this is my RPG series now. Like, man, it used to be
it's
Mass
so
Effect.
Good to hear you say that.
BioWare has lost their way. Deus Ex is this is my thing now. I'm so freaking hype. I need to play Breach. I've heard Breach isn't great because it's multiplayer and the game's kind of clunky. But
I need to at least know. It. But we should wrap up.
Yes. All right. We're done now. All right. But yeah, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, best game I played this month.
Same, even though I didn't play it this month.
Yeah, y'all can most likely find it super cheap on the Xbox, PS4, PC. PC's probably the better version just because that mouse will really smooth over that stiff aiming. But God, I can't recommend it enough. Even if you just like action games, plenty of action in this game. You just like conversations, plenty of conversations in this game. You like stupid hacking mini games? Ooh, it's got you covered. So many of those things. But yeah, I guess we'll sign off. I don't know if we're gonna have an outro or whatever, but 2 days. What What was it? What were the exact lyrics?
Today is gonna be the day we record a podcast for you.
All right. We could. I dig it. We could do it. It works especially well since you're completely tone deaf and have a terrible singing voice.
What?
But yeah, I guess we'll see y'all next time. I'm not going to say when that's going to be, but there's the first episode of Tajma Podcast. Peace.